Welcome to the Business Standard Banking Show. On September 22, Reserve Bank of India directed Mahindra & Mahindra Financial Services to stop carrying out recovery or repossession activity through outsourcing arrangements, citing material supervisory concern. The regulator's action came days after reports that a 27-year-old pregnant woman was crushed to death while she was trying to stop a loan recovery agent working on behalf of Mahindra & Mahindra Financial from seizing her father's tractor over loan dues. The incident took place in Hazaribagh in Jharkhand. Ramesh Iyer, Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Mahindra & Mahindra Financial, joins us today to explain what went wrong and the corrective steps they have taken, and also to talk about the second quarter results. Mr. Iyer, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Soon after the Hazaribagh incident, Anisha, the Mahindra Group CFO, said in a statement that the company will investigate the incident from all aspects. What are the findings of that investigation?
No, so clearly, internally we looked at what should be further tightened and what actions we should put in place so that we don't have any such incidents ever in future. So that's something that we carried out internally, and we are pretty clear in our minds that there is a process in place. We follow all process, all due diligence extremely well and correct. I have run this business myself now for 30 years, and this is the first of the incidents that I had to also go through. And while it's very premature, the police investigation is still on, and they are on the spot there. I myself visited Ranchi and met people around. Let's wait for the incident report to come out. Our belief is, it's an accident and there is nothing that anybody would have done intentionally for recovery of a loan. I think we will ensure our people are trained and continuously trained for if there are any gaps. All repo agents that we will work with, because we don't work with, an agent who's not working with other NBFCs or other banks and all that. So we just don't go out and appoint an unknown agent of a type. And, mistakes and accidents do happen, but we will have to be more cautious and careful always in future is the only lesson that I have learned out of this, because there is never a perfection to all of this. We can't say doing it all right. So we have to continuously keep improving, and we will keep doing that all the time.
Mahindra Finance has said that the impact of this ban by RBI will be temporary. Do you getting some indication from the regulator with your discussions how long the ban should be in place?
No, I think the onus is on us also to go back and tell them what are the steps that we have taken and how we will in future be acting on it, etc. And we are reasonably sure that once we are able to provide sufficient policies around how we are tightening our policies, etc., etc., we are very confident that the regulator will also look at it positively and give us that opportunity to recommence. I just want to clarify here that we have been stopped recovery and repossession by using external agency while we can continue to do ourselves. And we were not using any external agency for recovery of dues. Right. Our people were recovering the dues, and we had companies providing staffing support, and we had not outsourced collection to anybody. So therefore,
repossession was outsourced.
Repossession was outsourced. And that also, we have said that normally we do about 4,000 to 5,000 vehicles a month. Fortunately, the market conditions have substantially improved for people earning and able to repay, and we don't have to really repossess. So effect of this repossession not being able to do at this stage will be not more than maybe 2,000 to 3,000 vehicles. And it is also important to understand repossession is never the first step of recovery. It is a last resort for recovery. If a customer is extremely delinquent and not able to respond to the requirement, and he's not able to earn, he's willing to even surrender. Many a times it is a customer who wants to surrender the vehicle also.
I was coming to that repossession figures you have just mentioned, about 4,000 to 5,000 vehicles per month you recover, and you repossess, and using third-party agents and own employees. And you expected that the figure may come down to 3,000 to 4,000 per month. How was the October repossession figures?
No, so October we had consciously not gone in for, because it's a festival month. And normally, even in the past, if you look at it, these are not the months where the repossessions are aggressive. See, the repossessions invariably are very aggressive in the first half. Where the economic activity is low, customers don't repay. Whereas in the second half, they want to retain the vehicle because, the activity levels go up. who they don't want to surrender. They actually come and repay. So, which is why we felt the impact is not likely to be very high, even though repossession is extremely an important activity to ensure that defaulter doesn't cheat the company.
Coming to the Q2 numbers, sir, the loan book saw a very robust growth, 9% as compared to the previous quarter. In an increasing rate cycle, do you think such growth rates are sustainable?
So, I have again run this business for very long, and I feel extremely excited. One is the inventory levels are still not very high. Availability is still an issue with vehicles and certain models and whatever else. Whereas the demand is just not coming off. It's very, very high. People are willing to wait. People are booking and waiting. And the cost of acquisition is not worrying them. I mean, it's not just interest rate, right? Even the fuel price has gone up.
Yeah. Yes.
And it means that people earnings have also substantially gone up during this period. So if you look at the tourism, it at its best now. No hotel rooms are available. You land up in any place. It's not very easy to get vehicles. Airports are full. So therefore, the activity levels are at its peak. And when activity levels are at its peak, the demand holds so high, cost of acquisition does not much bother people.
What kind of disbursal growth you are looking for the current financial year?
So we just put out our October number. We have had the highest disbursement in history of Mahindra Finance this October. We have had 5,000 crore plus disbursement. Of course, we have to recognize the fact that in this month, Dussehra and Diwali was in the same month. So to some extent, demand of the future has come into this month. But nevertheless, 5,000 crore by itself for 1 month is a very high number. So we believe that per quarter, doing about 10,000 crore does not seem to be a challenge.
I see. So 40,000 crore this year disbursement.
We have already done first 2 quarters roughly about 20 odd thousand, and we are already 5,000 in this month. So if we clock the same 10,000, you are right, 38, 40,000 crore of disbursement, we does not look, and this does not yet factor the price increase on the vehicle, which are likely to happen going forward.
But does it worry you that the interest burden of the consumer, which has increased, can also lead to delinquency?
So it can, but so far, we have also not increased the rate very high to people. Right? We have absorbed some cost and we have just about now started increasing 50 basis point and whatever. But please understand one very simple thing. Let's say the vehicle price is 8 lakh rupees per minute and they bring in 2 lakh rupee margin, 6 lakh is the loan given. Okay. Now on 6 lakh rupee, even if you increase it by 1% for the customer, it is 6,000 rupees per annum. Okay? It is 500 rupee per month. So it is not going to tilt their decision, nor is it going to tilt it to become delinquent.
Right.
The other operating costs like fuel prices, this is a more denting cost for them. And that I very strongly think that the freight rates as well as the passenger fare will go up during this period. People must be waiting for just the festival season to be over. And you will start seeing slowly the freight rates going up, the passenger fares going up in taxi operations, etc. And they will cover it up. See, we should not forget that once the operator incurs a cost, he does pass it on to his consumer finally.
Correct. Yes. Your cost of funds may have also gone up because banks are very quick to pass on the increased interest to their customers. Yes. Any NBFC has a huge has dependence on bank for bank loans. So will it dent your margins?
It has. I mean, if you look at our NIMs, it has slightly come down, and it has come down for 2-3 reasons. One, our product mix has changed, right? Because we did more of car in the quarter, and cars are typically at a lower lending rate. Right. So one reason for the NIMs to come down, but the main reason for NIMs to come down is the cost of borrowing has gone up very fast in the first 2 quarters. We were expecting 75 basis point increase in the full year, whereas in the first 2 quarters, already 1.5% has gone up. And because there is so much liquidity pressure that we saw, we are also holding 4 months of fund requirement as our backup support. Okay, we are incurring a holding cost on that. So definitely the cost of money has costed us our NIMs. We have now started increasing the rate, but still at least an 0.5% compression to the NIMs going forward will be seen, because fortunately we are a very well ALM matched company. So we are not borrowing too much of fresh money, and therefore the average rate is still low. But once the past borrowing starts to mature and everything becomes a new borrowing, the new rate will kick in fully. By the time the lending rate increase should have happened.
Right. But bank funds are still much cheaper than any other option like NCDs, is it?
No, see, again, our philosophy has been not to chase the cheapest money and have a very high dependence on one source. Because if some change comes in and suddenly that money vanishes, then you are in trouble. So what we do is we always have looked at the blended cost of fund, and we make sure that we are borrowing from every instrument.
In the current financial year, what kind of margin, what is the guidance on margins?
So this year by itself does not seem to be a challenge, because not all our liability is maturing. So we will still end up with 7.25 kind of a NIMs. And in the meanwhile, if we do increase the rate, some small benefit out of that can also come. So there will be a compression of 25 basis point is what we see, because fortunately we have a lot of past liability.
Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
I am the blue of the limitless sky. I am the inspiration that led success soar high. I will achieve, I will fly high. I am the I in SBI.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.